Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. This game is between Nerchio and WhiteRa. It is from the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship and the map is Antigua Shipyard. Now in the right position we do have Nerchio playing as the blue Zerg, and in the left position we have WhiteRa playing as the red Protoss player. Now this is Antigua Shipyard, but it is the tournament version, so there is going to be no wall-offs going on here because there is a supply depot preventing that 3-pylon wall-off. Now, obviously, WhiteRa and Nerchio are both in Group B of the Intel Extreme Masters, and you will see WhiteRa is going for this early pylon build, so almost certainly going to see a Forge Fast expand out of WhiteRa, which is absolutely fine on this map. It's a narrow choke point, easy to hold, and I mean, I like this positioning personally. You do see some players who try to position the Forge Fast expand back here, and to be honest, I think that's more dangerous because you have to get a second cannon, to be able to cover it all. Whereas here, you can pretty much hold it with one cannon, I do believe. Again, it's not as easy as it can be to hold. I mean, Shakura's Plateau, for example, super easy to get that Forge Fast expand off. And Nerchio sending out this drone straight away. Going to go and scout with it, so not going to be trying to do any kind of hatch first build. There goes the pool. Very much standard on 14, exactly when you should be building that pool in order to deal with any kind of cannon pressure early on, and likewise just to make sure that you're not going to die and you still get the economy. And you'll most probably see Nerchio go for a 15 or 16 hatch following on from this. From the looks of things, it's going to be a 15 hatch, which very standard. And WhiteRa actually going very bold here, going for the Nexus before Forge. Now that is bold. Now if Nerchio were to decide to make 6 lings as soon as this spawning pool finishes, he may actually be able to get in before the cannon. I'm not 100% sure if he can make it. It'll be interesting to see what he does, but he's built 1 drone now already, got his hatchery on the way, and there's only 4 lings coming, so WhiteRa should be safe. And just a little bit of work and micro going on here. WhiteRa putting down another pylon just to really kind of start building this wall off as he needs to do, just in case there was any super crazy pressure coming. But I mean, that Forge will finish up soon, and Nerchio has got those first 4 Zerglings out, and it'll be interesting to see whether WhiteRa does drop. There we go. So the cannon is going to come straight down now. This Overlord will scout everything. A gateway coming up as well. There is still a small gap, but that should be fine. I mean, if WhiteRa does get seriously concerned, he can just block that off completely with another pylon, I believe. Yeah, it's a 2 gap, so should be with another pylon, and he will be absolutely fine. Nerchio, meanwhile, has got his second base up, but it's actually behind that of WhiteRa, so Nerchio needs to get that 3rd base ASAP. And there you go. There's just that pylon going down and blocking off those Zerglings, and I apologise for that misclick on my keyboard completely. Now, if we take a look, this will just force Nerchio to go straight back, and actually a great pylon block by WhiteRa here, because obviously Nerchio's Zerglings are forward, and that pylon is going to be able to finish. It'll be interesting to see whether WhiteRa does cancel. He has got it selected, so there goes the cancel, but again, it's just delaying that 3rd base by even just a couple of seconds is absolutely huge, because obviously WhiteRa did have his natural up quite a bit sooner than Nerchio, so very effective. WhiteRa has got both of his gas geysers on the way. He's also getting his cybernetics core out now, and these Zerglings are coming back, but they won't be able to make their way through. There's just a cannon here, they take too much damage, and even if a few remaining did manage to break through, the probes would be able to deal with them. So straight away, Nerchio will pull back. I mean, just manages to sneak 3 through actually, so that was some good positioning, and he should be able to kind of do some damage to the probe line. The probes will be forced back, and obviously that does delay mining time, which is very effective. That probe is going to get caught out of position, and I mean, WhiteRa has to be careful not to lose any probes here. Obviously, a probe lost at the 6-minute mark has a big knock-on effect, and one does go down, and still all 3 Zerglings are alive. There is a Zealot coming out, and so WhiteRa pulling those probes back. If they attack, just run them to the cannon, they'll be safe. And Nerchio just using these Zerglings in order to get a good scout off. Knows there's 2 gas down, but nothing else. And that's a big tell. If you did see 4 gas, you'd expect some kind of tech play, maybe Stargate, double Stargate, or something you need to be careful of. Whereas WhiteRa only just taking his Nerchio now only just taking his 2 gas. So WhiteRa has had those 2 gas up for a while, but absolutely fine. I mean, it's pretty straight up play. Getting the robotics facility as well That'll probably be used for an observer firstly, just to scout everything, and then an immortal out to deal with any roaches that may come. Now a pylon did go down up here, so WhiteRa was kind of attempting to cannon rush or something to this third base, but I mean Nerchio's in a good position. He's got all 3 of his bases up. He's got a queen at 2. There is a zealot on the way, but there's 8 zerglings on the way. And I mean, a great surround with those drones. They're microing the drones backwards to prevent any dying. That's absolutely fantastic micro. And it's another great surround. 1 zergling will die, but no workers killed. And there is a stalker actually coming in, and now the stalker is going to get surrounded. Is going to get free, but the queen just kind of slowly clawing its way at it. And I mean, the one key thing is Nerchio has no speed. Speed hasn't even started yet. Just literally starting as I speak. So again, that stalker should be safe for quite a while. And if we take a look, we have got the roach one on the way. What I'd expect to see Nerchio do is grab an evolution chamber. Oh, he's already got his evolution chamber up. That's why he hasn't started building it. Basically, a common timing is a roach one and then an evolution chamber, just so you're safe. And the observer is now done for WhiteRa. So obviously, WhiteRa can now go and get that essential scouting information. And just getting that immortal somewhat blindly, purely because getting roaches out in ZVP is so common, and the immortal is so strong against those roaches. Meanwhile, +1 melee attack is on its way now for Nerchio. +1 melee attack also nearly done for, oh, +1 ground attack rather, is nearly done for WhiteRa. And I mean, meanwhile, just getting more gateways, backing up with 3 more gate, and that overseer will see absolutely everything. That is a critically good time. Scout knows exactly what is going to be going on. We'll see that immortal pop as well. So really, Nerchio knows what he's dealing with, and he can now prepare appropriately. And to be honest, he shouldn't be too scared. A kind of 4-gate robo push isn't going to be huge. It's not going to be something which is going to be hitting him imminently. It's not like he's just scouted 6 or 7 gates and should be building mass units. He's safe-ish. And +1 armor now on the way for WhiteRa as well. Spire is about a quarter of the way done for Nerchio, and as a result getting his 5th and 6th gas, which obviously will allow him to really maximise Mutalisk use. And a great Ling run by here going on. Will actually force a cancel on that next. Didn't actually get the cancel off at all. So that's 300 minerals lost straight there for WhiteRa. Again, a bit of a slip up, not being able to cancel that, but the Lings will get cleaned up. But obviously stopping that Nexus is a hit on its own, and stopping it without a cancel is a great success. Now, WhiteRa looking like he knows he's a bit behind now, so he's got to push forward. And the only concern is he's got a handful of zealots, 1 stalker and 2 immortals, so that is a lot too little of what he needs, really. I mean, there are a lot of zerglings streaming. That stalker's going to get picked off. The zerglings are going to get a complete surround, focusing down those zealots first, as they should, because the immortals do hardly any damage to zerglings. And the immortal will manage to stay up, but still taking a lot of damage, and it will force WhiteRa back. And Nerchio just playing amazingly well, taking his 4th base. I mean, Nerchio is just really good, getting a macro hatch, getting his Mutalisk out, getting +1 air attack. Meanwhile, Blink on the way for WhiteRa. His 3rd base still not up, so I mean, Nerchio is in a very strong position as we speak, and I love this positioning of the Overseer. Just keeping an eye on, can come in if it needs to kind of scout anything out, and there's just so many Mutalisks on the way. I mean, this is going to be a big timing push. If Nerchio goes for this now, there is 1 stalker and 1 sentry and no cannons anywhere. There are here's the other stalkers. I thought there were more. And I mean, it will stop Nerchio doing too much, but I mean, the stalkers, if they get isolated like this, will go down, and obviously every stalker Nerchio does pick off means it will just be easier, and he is going to lose some Mutalisks. I think he should really be pulling back now, and obviously with the walk in, will now move backwards. A good 4 Blink, but 2 getting caught out of position. There are some cannons down here and some extra stalkers, but I mean, just a couple more probes are going to get taken out, and every work you lose obviously affects your income and ultimately the size of your army. Now, good drone transfer going on here for Nerchio, getting his, and there's a GG. It was a Ling run by here when I just flicked up, so the Zerglings did get through, and basically WhiteRa had so much of his stuff down here just defending that he had no choice but to defend it back. So again, absolutely great play by Nerchio there. I mean, he was so subtle with that Ling run by, I didn't even spot it, and so, I mean, absolutely great play. Just used the harassment of the Mutalisks in order to prevent any further kind of expansion, probe numbers getting too high, and just really wore down WhiteRa. So absolutely great play by Nerchio. That was game 1. I'm now going to go and cast game 2, so go and give that a watch.